today's Toy Spot, we are having a look at the Hasbro Build-A-Figure Collection Ultron, the Marvel Legends Infinite Series Grim Reaper. Grim Reaper I was really looking forward to because he just seems to be a departure from some of the common figures that we've been seeing so much, especially figures where it has a very neutral facial expression. Grim Reaper, on the other hand, there's nothing sane about this face sculpt. He is crazy. Love it. He does also come with the other leg that we would have needed to put together Ultron, so we'll be making use of that. The back of the package shows the other 6 figures from the set, consisting of Ant-Man, Marvel's Wasp, Marvel's Bulldozer, Marvel's Tiger Shark, Grim Reaper, and Giant Man. I read up, feeding on despair, Eric Williams ushers enemies to their demise with his life-draining scythe. To check out more from Marvel Legends and Hasbro, you can go to www.hasbro.com. Spot's going to take a break and get this opened up, but when we come back, we're going to get a better look at the Grim Reaper. Not the Grim Reaper, but the Marvel Legends Grim Reaper. There's more heading away, guys. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. Before we have a look at the Grim Reaper, let's have a look at the other leg. He only has 2 legs. This is the other leg for Ultron. Let's reach off camera to grab Ultron where we've left him off. Let's go ahead and add the leg. Just a little bit of pushing on there. Sometimes it can be a little difficult. There you go. There's Ultron with both legs intact. Now we need 2 arms and a head, and we've got ourselves a completed Ultron. Still loving the look of him. Can't wait to get him all finished. Let's move him to the side. Grim Reaper also comes with one other accessory, that being his cape. The cape we've seen before. This cape fits over his shoulders and just pegs into place, but to be honest, it doesn't ever really sit in place well. In fact, I think, I don't have him here with me right now, but I think the Vision had almost the exact same cape, same way of plugging into place too, and that cape fell off all the time. Reaper's, on the other hand, does a pretty good job of staying in place, but I probably will end up ultimately gluing the cape in place so I never have to worry about it falling off. I don't think I'd ever say to myself, you know, gee, I think I might have Grim Reaper without his cape on. I don't think that'll ever happen, so I might just ultimately glue the cape on, call it a day. What a spectacular figure. Really, there's not much to be said for Grim Reaper. I mean, really, most of his color is this navy. There's not much breaking it up other than the dark gray, almost more of a dark silver on his arm gauntlet. And then, of course, he's got the very large scythe. I'll talk about that in a second. And then he's got the skull and crossbones logo on his chest. Yeah, okay, there's not much to be said for him. However, where the fireworks and all the goodness happens is when you look at his face. That is a prime example of exactly what I'm talking about with these Marvel Legend figures. From time to time, we get a pleasant little surprise, and that surprise, this case, is Grim Reaper. Because a lot of times, you can only have so many neutral-faced characters that it's nice to mix it up a little bit. Put a little expression in the figure. Sure, maybe giving this look to a superhero may not work, but giving it to a diabolical villain like Grim Reaper, I think it works perfectly. And it's just such a breath of fresh air versus what we were looking at with Giant Man and Wasp so far. There's nothing wrong with the figures, but it's nice to break it up with a little bit of expression. As for his scythe, it could have been a little bit longer, but I understand safety reasons, and it could have been, you know, it could have got warped in packaging. I wish it maybe was just a little bit longer, you know, but then it would, again, run the risk that that bends. The scythe itself is of rubbery plastic, but luckily it was not warped when I got it out of the package. There's a little bit of posability to the scythe itself. You can just basically rotate the forearm because it's pegged in to the arms, to the hand socket, although they've halved the forearm, so it's really only half the length of this arm right here. Scythe looks good though. It's also got that same dark silver, a little bit of the darker near the handle of the scythe, and it gets a little bit lighter as it cascades further out. Again, the cape has a little bit of extra oomph. It's got a little bit of the dark wash in there just to break it up so it's not just a purple cape. Gives you a little extra, it looks more like it flows by adding the extra little bit of color in there too. I just really love this figure. I feel, and I'm trying to think right now, I think when we had a look at Strife, if memory serves me, Strife had a very neutral face. Strife, and also Kraven the Hunter, that was another good example. Kraven the Hunter really needed a face like this, a face sculpt with a really sinister, crazy, out of control face, and instead we got ourselves a very neutral face. This is a prime example of what they could do if they just maybe think out of the side of the box maybe a little bit and give personality to the villain characters. Really love this figure a lot. When it comes to his posability, it's pretty much what you would expect, being that it's Marvel Legends. The head does rotate on a ball joint, which also hinges up and down. Shoulders are on its own pin and socket joint. Rotation at the top of the bicep, a double hinged elbow. Swivel point as well as a hinge in the hand. He has an upper torso crunch, which is exactly what I'm talking about. When you start moving this, you might run the risk that the cape pops off. He has a swivel point at the waist, as well as a ball joint leg, top cut thigh swivel, a double hinge knee, and a hinge, not only a swivel at the top boot, which is a little loose, but also a hinge in the foot. I would go as far to say, not only is this one of my favorite figures so far from this wave, it could be one of my favorite figures of recent memory from the Marvel Legends line. Just taking a bit of a departure. Neutral face is good sometimes, but crazy, I'm out of control, stand out of my way face, that always goes well with me. Today's Toy Spot, we were having a look at the Marvel Legends Infinite Series Grim Reaper. Really cool looking figure. Stay tuned, guys. Spot's going to have more Toy Spots heading your way, of course. We all also are going to finish our videos for the Ultron wave, and we're going to build him. Stay tuned for those. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.